I was trying to find a re-upload. So far, no luck.
Okay, so there's a video from 6 years ago, by Dimitri Monroe called "A Letter to Mother's Basement," and the thumbnail says "I pirate anime." So yeah, it's somebody referencing it at least. It's not like it's a figment of our imagination.
That's more of like I'm reacting to Dimitri. I might react to Dimitri Monroe's video later. It's
It's
like
only
he
3 minutes 50.
3 minute 50. I might, yeah, you
Yeah.
can link to me because he has me followed. The funny thing is like he has me followed on Twitter, but I haven't like interacted with each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he has me
Oh.
followed on Twitter, but yeah, me and him are like, well, he did like my tweets in the past because I agreed with some of the stuff he said, but let's see.
Dear Mother's Basement, I pirate anime. I'm someone who consumes a lot of media, whether it be video games, American television, music, art. But here's the thing, I don't pirate any of these other things, and there's a really clear reason for that. That just seems to be brushed under the rug, because generally, the people in the public eye that argue against it are having their pocket filled by companies that would obviously profit from less competition. For me, it really comes down to one simple thing, you said it yourself, and that's service. But I don't think you understand or you choose to ignore the full extent of it. The main reason I would never pirate a video game in the modern age is because services like Steam not only offer me the product as it's released, but also so much more by having the product officially. Whether it be the extra features, the quality, or the fact that Steam constantly offers sales. Then there's other external means like Humble.
But what if it's a bad video game?
So also, it also depends on your game because not every game has proper publishing. I will use Aliens vs Predators 2 as an example. You can get Aliens vs Predators, the original game, on GOG. You can get the Aliens vs Predators remake from around 2011 on Steam. You can't get Alien vs Predators 2. So your only alternative is to buy it secondhand off of something like Amazon. And when I last looked, it was something like fucking 50 USD. Let me look at it on Amazon a second.
Yeah, like a physical copy. Like you gotta.
Yeah,
If
Aliens vs Predator 2 game.
yeah, I love GOG. I love Steam. GOG is usually the safest bet because like you can buy games off of it, which is our DRM
Oh,
free.
apparently this one's only 1078. Let's see.
That's not
This one
too.
is 387. Huh, curious. I
That's
definitely looked at it before and it was like way overpriced.
I
Okay,
guess
that's curious.
that's not too bad for a price, despite how old the game was at the time.
Yeah. But also buying games secondhand from a disc can suck because, well, for one thing, it could be scratched. It could just be like, you could have issues with Amazon, you know? It's like, I would much rather, if I was going, I really do want to play this game again at some point, right? So I'd absolutely buy it if it was stuck on GOG or Steam because I fucking love this game. In part because of nostalgia, right?
Sure.
But it's a great game, and I don't understand why some games just don't get licensed. Like, however, I told you about what's it called? There's a video game about the Ring of the Nibelungs that, you know, Mandalore did a review on it, and apparently it's really hard to get a copy of this game legally. Not legally. Not just that, it's also really hard to run. If you get a game on Steam, not always, but typically you can be guaranteed that it'll run somewhat well.
Interesting. I never
Which
thought of that.
game?
It's called Ring and Ring 2.
Ring and Ring.
Yeah.
Ring as in based off the movie turned into video game, or is it a different concept?
It's Ring as in like the Ring of the Nibelungs about Siegfried. And
Oh,
you know
okay.
the
Okay.
opera that Richard Wagner did? That.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of those games.
Okay.
So, Humble Bundle. Humble Bundle is also a good website to buy games because there's usually good deals a bundle. I
Not
I
just
think
that, they give you a bit of cash back as well, which is arguably better than Steam credit, at least in my opinion.
not to mention like there are some deals within bundles. You get like 10 games for like $10. I had that happen to me
Yeah,
before. Like the Capcom bundle, for example, another example where you can get like 10 to 12 and like $15 or something. So
yeah.
bundle. I really feel like I'm getting my money's worth for what I'm paying for. Me buying a game on Steam is just a much better service and product than what I would be getting if I were to pirate. I really can't say the same for something like Crunchyroll. There's the obvious shortcoming that you mentioned of the fact that the selection is very limited, even more so if you don't live in the States.
well, it's not to mention like as of right now that I'm recording, uh, the prices for yearly. I'm pretty sure I could Google this too, like see how much Crunchyroll costs yearly. Crunchyroll
They're also
yearly.
putting the price up. Have you heard?
Yeah, to put. Yeah, I think they just up. Yeah, from what I was told, they upped the price.
Yeah, because now they're as far as I'm aware, it's just gonna be like they don't really have a good competitor. Like you could be like, oh, $100 a year. That's not even $10 a month, right? But really, it nearly doubled.
Yeah,
Doubled. It goes
say.
from $55 to $99. That's such a huge jump.
Well, from what I googled, is like I was like, wait a minute, did they up the? I'm not sure if this is accurate. $100 per year is actually kind of fucking wild.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
I'm biased because I have Netflix, which is like a family
yeah,
monthly plan I use. But some of the if I can't find an anime off of fucking Netflix, I might as well like watch it off
yeah.
some fucking website. But this is but think
But
about it.
yeah,
Crunchyroll used to be an illegal streaming website back
yeah.
then. And
That's the irony.
back in the day,
You,
like when I was in middle school, it used to be a illegal website. And I watched like dozens of series off of it.
yeah.
And then
So
now
here's
it
a
be
marketing technique. If you're trying to get somebody to buy something, rather than saying, "Oh, Crunchyroll costs $99 a year," you could be like, "Oh, Crunchyroll, you can access all of these anime for the low prices of $8 and a bit dollars a month." Because people are a lot more accepting of $8 a month than they are of $99 a year, even if it adds up to the same total. Yeah.
there are some anime that were like on Crunchyroll, but sometimes they usually take it off. Like Maria
Yeah.
Holic was another one that I wanted to watch, but it's like it's not
Yeah.
there.
That's
So
another thing. What if your anime? Well, we should just watch the rest of the video. But what if your anime isn't legally licensed, and the only way to get it is through old copies of it? Or what if it's an anime that never got like a legal what the fuck is the word? It never came to
uh
the USA, so you've just got to rely
yeah,
on fan subs or
like
knowing
regionally
Japanese.
or something
Yeah.
like that.
But even here, I'd be hard pressed to find a lot of the shows I'm interested in for the current season. However, the problems don't stop there. For example, the product I'm even getting when it does have something I want is not up to standard. Crunchyroll will usually rush out its subs, meaning they often have errors. And this would be fine if it was fixed later down the line, but Crunchyroll doesn't do this. It leaves those same errors forever, as well as never bothering to pay for the Blu-ray license once released. If you watch anime, then you know how massive a difference the final product is in the Blu-ray as compared to the original broadcast. I'd almost even compare it to a beta for some shows. So no matter when you choose to watch a show on Crunchyroll, you never really get the
The quality difference seems way better on Blu-ray though. Now that I think of it.
Yeah,
Uh,
sometimes it just gets a small touch up, and sometimes it looks a lot better.
You know,
Is this Berserk? I think it looks like Berserk based off the left
you
image.
know, within the hypothetical statement, what if like some of the anime websites that I usually watch, they just rely it off of the. What if they rip it off of Blu-ray, or did they took his? That is my theory when it comes to like, I don't know. Well, obviously, what you call it? Obviously, Kiss Anime doesn't do that, but I wouldn't be surprised I'm watching the TV version of it.
for some shows. So no matter when you choose to watch a show on Crunchyroll, you never really get the final product. When I buy a game on Steam, I get the most up-to-date version of that particular product. Then there's other things like the throttling of bitrates, which was only reversed once it was discovered Crunchyroll was doing this. I'm sure I don't need to explain why this is bad. Now, these are problems Netflix, a service I do have a subscription to, does not have. In fact, despite you arguing in the past that companies like Netflix and Amazon are hurting the industry, I'd argue
Well, the anime for on Netflix, there are a couple anime. Evangelion had the ending theme, which they replaced it due to copyright. And I used to
Yeah,
watch
that's another reason.
and I used to watch Fruits Basket, and I believe the ending theme they took it out as well. In which I haven't watched the old version of Fruits Basket in so long. So, but I listened to the actual ending theme for like the old version of Fruits Basket. They didn't even put it on there for the Netflix because I'm pretty sure they cut that off for like due to copyright too. So
Hmm.
yeah.
they're helping far more, especially with
But as far as I know, it's not really censorship. And like some people can argue that, but like I think it's just copyright issues. So
Hmm.
Netflix actively having a hand in production of certain anime, like Devilman, for example. In fact, one of the reasons I disdain this company, and you somewhat as well, is for the mindset I just mentioned. Crunchyroll's PR team, especially Miles, seems to actively harass anyone who speaks against their company. Again, you doing this yourself in your Are Amazon and Netflix killing great anime video, which admittedly you seem
yes, the PR people on Twitter when it comes to
Hmm.
Crunchyroll, they get mad if I I was like, oh, it's apparently it's morally wrong to watch it off of some illegal site or something.
seem to now argue that competition is good, so maybe you have actually changed your mind there. I also believe competition is a wonderful thing. It forces people to improve themselves and the product they produce, but it only has this effect if you're willing to strive for that improvement. Crunchyroll, on the other hand, does not. This also doesn't even take into consideration that despite you saying there's no reason to pirate if a Blu-ray exists for an anime, you're asking someone to pay $200+ in some cases, which
Holy fuck. I mean, I don't think I've owned a Blu-ray player or I mean, I think one of my IRL friends owned a Blu-ray player and I'm pretty sure the only time he bought the usually some Blu-ray seasonal stuff is like off of like when it's discounted, but still, Jesus Christ.
Hmm.
most people can't be expected to afford. It's just not worth the price for those of us not having our pockets filled by any company willing to hand us a dime. So that's why I pirate anime, and that's why anime is the only form of media I pirate.
I mean, according to Google results, that Crunchyroll yearly subscription service is $100 per year and it's taking effect in like next year. I thought it was this year, in which it would be fine. But oh boy.
Okay, so here's another thing. You know how back in the day you used to have to pay for various different cable services if you want to watch different stuff, and then Netflix was like, "We're going to change that, and we're going to have everything, right?" And then
Right.
everyone was like, "Wow, this Netflix business model is so good. We're going to create our own Netflix subscription model." And then before you know it, if you want to watch everything, you got to subscribe to Netflix, HBO, Hulu, Stars, fucking everything, and it's like, huh? Why bother?
Well,
Because at that point, if you're going to pay for all of those, you're paying fucking a lot of money.
well, back in the day, I used to have like DirecTV and Comcast like on demand at the time, and then you have to like pay like a subscription fee to have access to like specific channels. Like I used to pay for fucking like watch Funimation like long time ago. It was like way long time ago. So, but I don't watch cable anymore, so
Yeah.
it's long and gone.
Because it's the best service there is for me to get things at the quality I want sometimes. Pirating sites just don't seem to have those problems I mentioned. And even websites like Netflix that do a better job, there's a
Dimitri kind of wrong about Netflix. They throttle and kick you in the balls all the time. Hmm. I I mean, I've had Netflix for like years. I mean, the only time I go on Netflix is to watch like K-drama and anime. Sometimes, like I guess on certain occasions, like it kicks you in the balls to where it's not to mention this video was made six
Yeah.
years ago, so I don't know what the
It's
opinion
fucking
is.
ancient.
Yeah, that video, yeah, this is an old video. It's like I don't know what his opinion of when it comes to Netflix right now, but
Yeah, people change and companies change as well.
Yeah, people change opinions regardless of video, so it's like, but
The reason they earn my subscription, as well as a reason I will be watching shows there, as well as Amazon, because they offer good services. Crunchyroll, however, I just can't say the same for.
I mean, the only thing I find it weird, I mean, about Netflix, and this is a very mild critique, but they need to stop pushing these fucking shitty ass live action shows based off of like anime. Okay, the One Piece live action is the good exception. They
Yeah,
sometimes push some bad quality shit in there, and it's like, why? I mean, I'm free to just ignore that, but still, that's just fucking funny.
So to me, that seems like a very good reason to pirate anime. From your friend, Dimitri Monroe.
Okay, well,
did you see that it only had 685 views when he posted it in the video? This guy must have uploaded the video quite shortly afterwards.
that's funny. There's no good
So
reason to pirate anime. You know, I can't even find the fucking video. So unless
yeah,
someone
I think
had,
it's been removed.
unless someone has like a re-upload to to another channel, then I can't really find it.
Yeah.
So
So here's another thing. This is entirely dependent on many different things, but I'll use cinema as an example. Um, you could like look at The Boy and the Heron. That was in cinema, right? It's very.
Mhm.
It would have been very easily for me to go and watch that. However, think of an anime film that's not Demon Slayer that people like.
JK Zero or
Jujutsu
Silent
Kaisen
Voice.
Zero might have actually been in cinemas, but
Silent Voice, Your Name.
okay. Do you think the Silent Voice would have been in the cinemas in this shitty little town that I live in? I'm not
No.
that certain. Um, so if I was to pirate The Boy and the Heron, it would be morally worse because there's a good way to do it. Well, a good experience. Like I could have had a nice experience going to the cinema and watching.
Right. So you're saying because you can't go about it the official good way, it's less bad to do it the unofficial way because they're not getting your business either way. So fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And additionally, on the topic of gaming, if you were to pirate video games, there's a very solid chance you might like download some malware, and before you know it, you're running somebody's Bitcoin miner, right? Whereas, like this is completely regardless of the morals, right? Of
Yeah,
pirating anime.
you will get baited with
But there's a
viruses. That's for
logistical
damn
reason
sure. That
to.
is true. That happened to me
There's
in the
less
past.
logistical reason to pirate video games.
I mean,
You could also argue. Let's use
Mhm.
Steam as an example again. You could be like, oh well, Steam has for the most part a monopoly, right? However, they're not like artificially jacking the prices of everything up to insane prices because they're the only person who have access to a game, right? Do you remember when Epic Games would buy certain games out and then they would make it so, oh, you can only play it on Epic for like a year or something? Off the top of my head, Total War Troy and Chivalry Medieval Warfare 2.
Or Epic exclusives.
Yeah, they were Epic exclusives for a while.
Yeah. It's like not really early access, so much just late access for everyone else.
Yeah. Like, do you think Crunchyroll will be like, oh, we'll keep the anime here for like 1 year and then everyone else can have it on Netflix and their Hulu and this, that, the other, right?
You know what's
As far as I can tell, not really. Everyone seems to keep their anime quite separate, with a
You
few
know-
exceptions.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny? I keep getting that same YouTube ad, but I don't think they do that YouTube ad anymore. But I keep getting that YouTube ad to be like, oh, did you know that Steam it was a monopoly? You you can get compensated for thousands of dollars later. I'm like, the fuck? I don't really recall, you know, sucking. I don't recall Steam being a fucking vampire of a video game game client, but sure, whatever. Like out of all the like he could have just go after like you know gotcha games that turn out to be vampires. Well, don't get me wrong, I still play Grand Blue Fantasy, but you're going after Steam for being a fucking vampire monopoly. Like how
I
the
mean,
fuck?
there are many predatory companies out there in the gaming sphere, and Steam is one of the less predatory big places, in my opinion.
Yeah.